Their policies just burn down a bunch of people's homes and businesses. You will never solve a problem unless you admit that you have one. So I'm about to bludgeon Los Angeles officials into changing their policies. First, how did these fires start? I can't say for sure about this specific fire yet, but I can make a really educated guess. There isn't exactly a bunch of lightning in LA right now, so you can rule that out, pretty much natural causes. But from 2020 to 2023, the number of fires in homeless encampments have doubled. Last year alone, reporting 13,909. In 2018, by the way, there were only 7 homeless encampment fires. Keep in mind, in the same time frame, California spent $24 billion with a B dollars on the homeless problem, as they called it. By the way, most of that money is completely unaccounted for at this present time. In fact, according to CBS News, in 2021, homeless encampment fires accounted for 80% of fire breakouts in the LA area. So if you stack this on the fact that California won't even trim a branch because all the hippies freak out about touching anything in the environment, this is what you get. Look, the liberal argument out there is that we should not interfere with Mother Nature at all. And that is why they don't do any forest management. Well, if just one of these people had read to page 2 in any book about this type of stuff, about, I don't know, nature, they would also know that fire is also part of the same ecosystem that Mother Nature uses. And it's pretty obvious that if we as people, or in California, don't clean up nature, she's going to clean it up for us. Trump has been saying that Newsom needs to do this since 2019, but no, he didn't do this. And now this is happening. This is why elections matter, folks. So combine all that with the fact, and this happens every year, the Santa Ana winds. They're blowing extra hard, almost 100 miles per hour this year. So you have a perfect storm for wildfires. But to absolve themselves of any wrongdoing or incompetence or any image of that, what do California officials rush to blame? Climate change. Where Axios writes, context, climate change is intensifying hydroclimate extremes, both wet and dry, including weather whiplash events where California seesaws between the two. It is so wild that these people call something climate change and then go on to describe weather. The two are totally different. First, to ping this on climate change is just really dumb because, one, these are not the highest Santa Ana winds on record. The highest recorded were in December of 2011, with gusts as high as 167 miles per hour, like 50% higher. And two, this is not even the driest winter on record for LA. In fact, they began records in the late 1800s, and in 1897 to 1899 was the driest until 2014 that basically tied for the least rainfall in Southern California. And also, newsflash, Southern California is a desert. It always has been. Which brings me to water. Because it's a desert, it requires competent management to ensure there's enough of it. And right now, LA doesn't have either of those two things, water or competent management. In fact, they don't have any manager at all. The mayor of LA is in Africa currently, making her way back after media outrage, but rightfully so. Why is she in Africa? Well, we talked about this water management of LA about 8 months ago. We called it here. How LA imports their water from hundreds of miles away. Their irresponsible allocation is a big problem. People upstream in Colorado, like 500, 800, 900 miles upstream, were forced to restrict their water consumption to allow as much water as possible to flow down the river to the Colorado River Aqueduct. And why is that so important? Because that Colorado Aqueduct pumps all the water to the epicenter of the climate change narrative, San Francisco and Los Angeles. Where do you have left-wing lunatics screaming about, like, cow farts and rivers drying up while they take private jets and water 6-acre lawns at their $50 million mansions? It couldn't possibly be the fact that the population of Los Angeles, which, by the way, is effectively in a desert, has doubled in the last 60 years. That's why your fire hydrants are dry, not climate change. The other issue they are facing is this.
We're doing the very best we can. But no, we don't have enough fire personnel in LA County between all of the departments to handle this. Thank you.
Oh, you don't have enough people. And who here would like to know why? Because, first, the mayor of LA, Karen, of course her name is Karen, Karen Bass, cut the LA Fire Department budget by almost $18 million. And instead of investing the money they did have left to, train people and recruit other people, they spent it on DEI.
Our department is launching its first ever Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau. It is dedicated to ensuring a fair and equal workplace environment.
Because flames care about the color of someone's skin who's putting them out, right? These people are so stupid. All right. Second, they fired a bunch of LA firefighters for not getting vaccinated. I hope this is some sort of a wake-up call here. Probably not, but it's California. You know what? It's even crazy. This gets worse. As Newsom activates the National Guard to bring in supplies and equipment, you know what LA did with their extra equipment? In 2022, they donated it to Ukraine. I wonder if they're going to kick some of that back and aid for us now. No? You just can't make this stuff up. There are so many failures here. It's biblical. It gets even worse because California and the stupid laws that they pass over the last year, tons of homeowners have actually lost their fire insurance.
They've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance, and these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance.
Not the insurance company, people. It's not them. You know why they got dropped? One, because the risk of fire was so high because of literally all the things I just mentioned. But two, because California's regulatory framework intended to safeguard consumers has inadvertently prompted several insurance companies to pull out of the market. That's not me saying it. So, California, how many good people have to lose everything because you and your people voted for others that put in ridiculous policies that have all culminated in the same horrific result? You see why elections matter?